Alright, let's have a chat today, okay? Because I've just hit a rather important milestone in my life. I've hit the big 3-0. Oh my god! Yeah, as of 9th September 2019, I've officially left my 20s behind. I'm done with my 20s, onto my 30s. You know, I've officially lived out 3 decades of my life and onto the 4th decade of my life. My god, that time just flies so fast when you're being an adult. Like when you're a student, time is so slow. When you're in the army, it's even slower. But so probably a lot of you don't know about my age. You would assume that I'm like in my early 20s or mid 20s. I mean, because of this face, like look at this face, look at this face. You know, I find it really amusing when I meet new people for the first time and they find out about my age and they would give this look like, yep, I would get that look all the time without fail. Like everyone would be just so surprised about my age because of how I look, how young I look, and it's a double-edged sword, right? I don't really like to look that young. I would like to look a bit more mature, but okay, that's for another day. You know, I feel a whole mixed bag of emotions about turning 30, which is why I'm sitting down here to just express my thoughts. And on one hand, you know, it's a great place to be in right now for me. And on the other hand, like, you know, months and years leading up to this day, I've always been afraid of knowing that I will be turning 30. Like, I mean, just the idea of living my prime, living the 20s. The 20s are the best times of your life. You can do anything. You can take a gap year or 2. You can make mistakes, fail, get up and just try out all sorts of things. You'll be experiencing so much in life. You know, to be very honest, I've been really afraid of adult stuff. I don't like to think about this stuff, and the topics about weddings, insurance, credit cards, housing, BTOs, and even kids, like all this kind of adult stuff, they scare me. They scare me. I'll be very honest with you. To be honest, again, I admit, like, I'm in a very blessed situation to be able to say that, but my mind is always just really about my career and the things I love to do. So, and a lot of people would say that, you know, it's always good to plan early, and that is the truth. But I've always been the kind of person that just likes to live in the moment, and I know that planning is so essential. But yeah, it's just in my nature, and a lot of my peers right now a lot of friends are getting married at this age, and some of them are even having kids already. Everyone else is getting a house, and I'm this person who is still like a kid in his early 20s. But to be very honest, like, age is really just a number. Like, I mean, what's going to be the difference between, say, 3 months ago and 3 months later? I don't feel the immediate change for sure. I think it's really all about just the psychological and the thought of just being in, you know, in your 30s, like everything's gonna be over and whatnot. But to be honest, it's not going to be. I believe there's not gonna be much change, and especially for me, you know, the evolution of Sean Cole has always been a very slow and gradual one. Let's get to the good side of, you know, being 30 and being of this age. And while it's really sad to say that my 20s are over, you know, the prime of my life is kind of over, but there are still a lot of good things that I love about being at this age. If I were to go back to the state that I was 5 years ago, or even in my early 20s, I would never want to be Sean Cole 5 years ago again. Or even 10 years ago. Like, I really wouldn't want to be who I was back then, because back then I was clueless. I was just pretty much average in everything that I did. I wasn't good in anything. I was just average. There's just nobody just floating around. So I'm glad where I'm at right now today. You know, when you get to a certain age, you come with a certain amount of experience, which is really invaluable, and I feel a lot more self-confident in the things that I do and the things that I love to do. Definitely at this stage in my life, I feel like I'm in a lot more control compared to back then when, you know, things are a lot more unstable, trying to figure out life. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out life at this point, but the finances are getting a bit more stable, opportunities are slowly growing. I can't really complain much about this. You know, I'm not tied down to any school or any organization right now. I'm completely free of like all those kind of things. Like, as much as, you know, being a student is awesome, you can really do stupid shit and anything and have fun. Being in complete control of my life, especially when I'm being my own boss, it's a great thing. That being said, of course, when you're in your 20s, like, you know, you get to meet a lot of people, you're still making new friends, new cliques. That was a great period when you're in your early 20s or in your teens. And right now, when you reach this age, it's kind of like the opposite. Like, your social circle would start to just shrink, and, you know, you're trimming off people that maybe you're used to be close with. But you know, over time, just, I guess, people and friends get busy in life, different priorities just take over. You know, people are getting married, having families, have their own lives and careers, and it definitely takes a lot more effort to maintain relationships and friendships. And it may not be a bad thing. Like, I would really prefer to have a smaller, tight-knit group of friends to talk to than to have, like, I don't know, like 100 friends to like party with. Certainly, I'm over that stage of my life. And when you're in your 20s, most of us have a preconceived notion of what our 30s would look like. We see ourselves going to be like, you know, making it in our careers, being rich, being successful, and whatnot. But I guess most of us, even when we reach our 30s, at least for me, like, I'm nowhere close to where I see myself at. And which is why I'm afraid of being 30, because I'm still so far away from my goals and what I perceive myself to be at in life. And, you know, very often I would see younger people, you know, getting smarter, getting more creative, more talented than myself. You would think that, damn it, like, I'm in my 30s and like I'm still not even achieving much. I guess that would always be the case, unless you are really like the top 1% of the 1%. But I guess it's just totally normal. I always try to tell myself again how far I've come from the starting point, and it's so important to know that you have grown so much even though you don't see it. And even though you see people around you just getting, you know, being more successful in life, being more talented than you are, and, you know, especially when I'm at a stage of my life where I feel like I've got no creative juices left. You know, all these kind of negative thoughts that flow into myself because, you know, I'm like feeling old. And the thing is, like, age really is just a number. When we reach 30 and beyond, the responsibilities are just going to pile up. As much as I want to avoid it, no doubt, and I know that it would eventually creep up on me, and I have to take on these responsibilities when I hit 30, start planning for stuff. At least right now I feel that I'm ready, more or less, at least more well prepared, even though I'll never be prepared for that. You know, people say that, oh, with age, I used to love to do this, but now I can't because of time, because of limited time or limited energy. But for me, like, even when I turn 50, even when I turn 60, like, I don't want to let my age limit the things that I want to do or things that I love to do. Like, I want to still continue to do what I do and not let age or even responsibilities or the limited amount of time and resources limit what I can do. That's what I feel very strongly about. And so I just hope that, you know, when I reach like 40 or 50, I'll still be, you know, being young at heart and just doing things that I'm very passionate about. So I guess that's all I have to say. I mean, for you guys who are in your 20s, you have so much ahead of you, so much time, and go experience the world, go do new things, try out as many things as possible, fail as many times as you can, because you have the time. But again, don't take time for granted because it would fly by so quickly. And, you know, for my mates who are 30 and above, we still have time. In the grand scheme of things, we still have time. And again, don't let, you know, the age, the number define us. And I just pray that for you and I to always be, you know, seeking the passions that we have inside of us and to always be pursuing new things. I hope you enjoyed this chit chat session, and yep, I have a lot of travel videos coming up, so stay tuned for that. I just need time to edit it, so don't forget to subscribe and join in the ride for more videos and more awesome stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Bye.